Alright guys, for my algebra-minded people that are in geometry, today's about to be a little bit more interesting for you guys. You're going to do a little bit of algebra work today, which is great. Today we're continuing on with angle measures, but we're going to talk about congruent angles a little bit. Congruent angles are angles that have the same measure. They're called congruent angles. A ray that divides an angle into two congruent angles is called an angle bisector. An angle bisector. In the figure, PN is the angle bisector of angle MPR. Point N lies in the interior. Alright, so all this is saying is this line here, this ray, PN, is the angle bisector, means that it cuts angle MPN and P. I'm sorry, let me do that in a different color. And RPN into two equal angles, and that's denoted by, if you see this arch. So when we see an arch, that means equal angles. So I'll put this in there. Equal angles. That's what that means. The arch means equal angles. So the arch means equal angles. Alright, so PN is the angle bisector of MPR. So this big angle MPR was bisected by PN. And then it says point N lies in the interior of this angle. So all this means is that N is inside this angle. If it's a bisector, it has to be. But then notice we have angle MPN is congruent to NPR. This is NPR. So they're broken up into two equal angles. This symbol right here means congruent. Congruent. So refer to the figure above. And now it's telling us if measure, so this right here, when you put a lowercase m in before the angle, you're saying measure. So that's just terminology that you're going to end up learning, and we keep on going with. So if measure of angle MPN equals 2x plus 14, so MPN is 2x plus 14. And that's the angle measure. And then it's going to give us, so that was MPN, and then it's going to give us NPR. NPR is x plus 34. And then it's going to tell us to find x and find the measure of angle MPR. So in order to find x, don't look at this, I'm going to show you guys myself. We know that PN is a bisector, so it splits these two angles into two equal angles. And because they're two equal angles, I can set them equal to each other because they're congruent. So angle MPN, so angle MPN is congruent to angle NPR. That means I can set them equal. So what is MPN? MPN is 2x plus 14. So I say 2x plus 14 equals NPR is x plus 34. And this is where I said our algebra-minded people are going to be a little excited because you're actually doing algebra now. So I'm going to subtract x to both sides to get that x away from the right side. and I'm going to move my numbers. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to subtract 14. And my 14s cancel out on the left. So 2x minus x is x equals 34 minus 14 is 20. So just as they found, x equals 20. That's what we found. And then it says to plug in to find angle NPR. So measure of angle NPR equals x plus 34. But we know what x equals. X equals 20. So I'm just going to plug it in. 20 plus 34. Which equals 54. So the measure of angle NPR is 54. And if you notice, I could have done it the other way. They actually did 2x plus 14, and they still got 54. So that's how you do it. That's your answer for that. Here's your examples today. So you're going to look at this figure, their opposite rays. Notice it says QS bisects PQT. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in there for you guys. That means that this angle and this angle are equal because it's a bisect. All right. So and they're saying angle PQT is 60, and PQS is 4x plus 14. So find the value of x. So what we know is the whole thing equals 60, right? And this breaks it up into two equal parts. So that would mean that if this whole angle is 60 degrees, that means that this angle here has to be 30 degrees and this angle here has to be 30 degrees. So you can set this up, and I'll show you real quick. PQS, we know, is 30 degrees. Why? Because it's an angle bisector and the whole thing equals 60 degrees. So you would have 30 degrees equals 4x plus 14, and then you can solve for x. If measure of PQS equals 3x plus 13, and SQT equals 6x minus 2, well, we know that they're both equal. So find PQT. So you're going to set them equal to each other, find x, plug it in, and then double it because you're only finding one angle. So that's how you guys are going to do it. Let me erase that because that's not for both questions. And then this one, you're doing the similar thing. So you guys are doing very similar work. So if you have any questions, reach out. Have a good day, guys.